Okay, so I'm a building scientist and my research looks at ways of designing, building and operating buildings in an environmentally friendly way. So they are buildings which are going to be comfortable and hopefully healthy for the occupants, and at the same time buildings which are going to be good for the environment, the wider environment. So that's going to be buildings which use low amounts of energy, have reduced CO2 emissions, so that's good for climate change mitigation, and generally use less natural resources. One of the best ways of doing that is to design the fabric or the envelope of a building to be appropriate to the location where it's going to be built. So I've spent 15 years doing this type of research in London. I also spent 2 years in Brazil. And now I'm in Melbourne in Victoria, which has a milder, temperate climate, but it's quite a challenging climate in terms of both heating and cooling. One of the things which has struck me about living in Melbourne is how the building stock in many ways would be considered to be quite poor by world standard. Very few of the houses have double glazing, there's limited amounts of insulation in the houses. I think historically, it's understandable why houses were built as they have been. Energy has been very cheap, resources have been plentiful, and in some way the climate is quite mild. So especially in winter, the solution has been, okay, we'll just heat our houses rather than using the envelope or the fabric of the house design. A lot of the research is designed to provide hard evidence that the buildings are performing as well as they've been designed to do. And hopefully with that level of confidence, governments, be it at state level or federal level, can then have the evidence that they need to show when they make building regulations in the building code stricter, that it will produce sustainability, the future design and planning of sustainable cities, and health and well-being of urban dwellers. I found the research culture in RMIT to be very supportive. There's always people willing to give advice and positive feedback and criticism when you're putting in research proposals, which is it's always very, very good and very important to get a second opinion. I think one of the things about built environment research is it's very multidisciplinary and indeed interdisciplinary. So it's very good and it's very useful to have interaction with social scientists and colleagues from other professions. I think one of the good things about being a Vice-Chancellor's Senior Research Fellow is that you can concentrate, if that's what you want to do, on your research. So one of the things I've enjoyed is having the time to really write papers and spend more time thinking about the quality of the research I'm doing, where I'm not hassled by having to do extra administrative.